This is my game Adventureton. It's a 1 to 4 player cooperative RPG that plays in 20 minutes and fits inside of this mint tin. And so in the game, the objective is to kill the dragon, and you'll be doing that by exploring the land, fighting enemies, disabling traps, gaining treasure, finding treasure, and eventually you'll find the shadow castle under one of these tokens that you see on each one of the spaces of the terrain. And once you fight the shadow castle and its boss, then you'll be able to fight the dragon. And the game is very simple to play. You'll pick one of these heroes per player. So let's say we pick the bard. You would grab the piece, the die color that represents your character, starting at the castle. The pips on the die represent the health that you have. So as you get damage, you'll be rotating the die. And then the gameplay is very simple. You'll be moving to different terrain locations. You'll be uncovering these adventure tokens to show the strength of maybe the encounter until you find a token that is the shadow castle, like this. When you move, you will be drawing these adventure cards and choosing one from the cards you draw. And depending on the terrain that you're on, so for example, we're on the plains right here, you would see that we would be using a location would be the encounter type. So it can either be an enemy, a location, or an event. And this adventure deck, has multiple different variations. So it's got a ton of replayability and variability built in. Once you find the, for example, we'll use this card as the location. Once you find the encounter type, you will draw from the encounter deck one card. And here you'll be able to see if we were fighting an enemy, this is the strength that the enemy would be. The question mark is the token you uncovered plus 1. If we had an event, we would be getting cursed. And since we found a location, we would be able to go to town, spend our money, and either heal, buy crystals, or buy treasure. So as you defeat enemies, if we were to defeat the enemy, we would actually get this 3, and this would count as gold that we can put on our hero. And when we find a town, we could spend that gold on treasure. This will give you items, and they can really boost your ability and your strength in combat. For example, the staff right here is basically adding 2 to all your dice. And dice is what we roll in combat. There are 2. If you were to buy a crystal over there, or in a co-op game, you can assist people. You'd be rolling 2. Otherwise, you just roll 1 die and you try to get over the strength of the encounter. There is some dice mitigation where you could re-roll the die by hurting your health. So we could do this and then re-roll the die. And there is ways to... There's loot and treasure that can also do re-rolling. The game comes with these nice reference cards for you on all the items. And the game takes about 20 minutes to play. These are the locations, the terrains, these are all shuffled at the start. The adventure tokens are all shuffled, so the game is very different. Which adventure cards you draw when you move, which encounter you get from the encounter deck. It could be a dungeon, it could be a church that you're going to, or a town. There could be, the events could be getting cursed or finding treasure, which is a good event. And then, of course, the enemy encounters vary. So how will your adventure be this time? And really, this whole thing fits in the mint tin, and you can really just take it anywhere. And so that's sort of a component overview of the Adventure Tin game. The last thing I'll say, though, is that we have 4 heroes, and each of the heroes has... Down here, they have a bonus damage to whichever terrain they're on. So, for example, the bard is really good at battling on the plains, and the knight is really good in the mountains. And on top of that, each hero has a special ability that only they get to use. So, for example, you can never get cursed if you were the druid, and the wizard can reroll 1 time per strike phase, and the knight just has more armor, so it would take less damage. And the bard, it's cheaper to buy things, so it's a pretty good group character. And this does have a true solo mode, so you only have to play with 1 hero if you're playing solo. Otherwise, cooperatively, you add as many heroes as you want, and the difficulty just works. And that's it. Thank you so much.